Hi, Mark here. It's Wednesday, April the 1st, going on 10 a.m. Eastern. That's going on 2 p.m. GMT. US session well underway, going into the afternoon portion of the European session. Let's have a look at the US dollar's performance. Yesterday, strong sell-off. We saw a reversal, strong reversal, bearish engulfing candlestick, technically confirming the US dollar sell-off we saw yesterday and continuing today. I've got support at 99.12. I've got resistance at 99.71. We'll see whether this US dollar sell-off does continue. Sellers testing this 99 area, tough area to break below, has acted as a resistance level as well. That was at the beginning of the year. Always tough when, or relevant, should I say, when resistance becomes support or support becomes resistance. So we'll see whether sellers can continue the sell-off and test break below this 99 level, or if US dollar buyers do step in, bounce up off this area and look back up at the 99.71 resistance level. But certainly US dollar weakness continuing into the US session today. Let's have a look at the majors. Euro, there's the strong push yesterday, the reversal. We saw it on the index, we're seeing it on the Euro US pair, and continued today, a gap up to start, and then continued the uptrend and the buying euro, selling US dollar, sitting at a tough resistance level for now, which is 116.25. We'll see whether this can continue, if buyers can test break above this level, or if we're going to get a turnaround from weak to strong US dollar, if US dollars do step in and look to bounce down off this resistance level, looking back down at the support sitting at 115.54. The pound against the US, pretty similar pattern here. Yesterday, not as strong, the pound rebound, but has picked up steam today. I've got support at 132.18. I've got resistance at 133.27. So it's already over 100 pip move. We'll see buyers can maintain, can break above this resistance level. Tough level. We can see lots of wicks here on the downside, beginning of the month. That support level area now acting as resistance. We'll see whether this can continue or a bounce down. US dollar buyers step in and bounce down off this level and look back down at the 132.18. But certainly for now, like we saw on the euro, pound strengthening against the US. US dollar weakness is what we are seeing against the two European majors. Let's have a look at the US yen. Yen not as strong today as the European, as the pound and the euro. Small green candlestick so far today. 2 days ago, we had the bearish engulfing candle. That was a kind of precursor to the turnaround and the reversal from strong to weak US dollar. And then that yesterday, we saw the big push lower, two consecutive red candlesticks, lower highs, lower lows. Today, sitting pretty much at yesterday's close, I've got support at 158.26. I've got resistance at 159.01. So we'll see through the US session whether yen buyers can continue. If we continue to see selling US buying yen, red candlestick and push lower, or if this bounce up does materialize and US dollar buyers step in and look back up to this 159 resistance or higher. US dollar against the Canadian. There we see, yes, yesterday the US got as high as 139.64 and then came down. We saw US dollar weakness across the board yesterday, not as strong, the sell-off against the Canadian. Today also pushed lower, selling US, buying Canadian, but you can see US dollar has fought back against the Canadian today already, supported 138.77. Buyers of US bounced up off this level. I've got resistance sitting at 139.12. US dollar buyers will look to test break above this level if the US dollar can come back and put in a run uh, during the US session today. If not, and we continue to see dollar weakness, sellers will be looking down at the 138.77 level. So certainly US dollar weakness to start the day. We're seeing it strong against the Euro on the index and the European majors. US dollar fighting back against the yen, fighting back against the Canadian certainly, and we'll see how that plays out through the US session today. See where the US dollar can uh, regain some of the losses that it's given up over the past 2 days. Good trading, keep that discipline, and I'll see you at the end of day.